Hello everyone. Today we are going through the cryptography concepts room. Typically, I will go through a room before starting a walkthrough, but then I thought it's cryptography basics. How difficult can it be? I guess we're going to find out. Introduction. When you see the little padlock in your browser's address bar, what's actually stopping someone from reading or modifying your data as it travels across the internet? Cryptography. This is just the introduction telling us the real world application. So please go through it, especially if this is your first time on the topic. Please go through it, read it to understand. I'm not going to read every single line in this lesson because of time. Understanding the basics, plain text is just regular text. Ciphertext is the scrambled version of that text. The key is the secret ingredient that controls how scrambling and unscrambling work. And the algorithm is the public recipe. The set of steps I explain how to use the key on the message. Okay? The lockbox analogy. Think about a physical lockbox. The algorithm is how the lock works. The key is your specific metal key. The plain text is the letter inside the box. And the ciphertext is that locked box traveling through the postal system. Okay? Nobody tries to hide how locks work to make them secure. Security comes from keeping your key private, and this same principle applies to cryptography. Okay, I'm going to skip all of that. Again, when you're doing this on your own, please do not skip it. Plain text versus ciphertext. Plain text is hello, ciphertext is core. Okay, this looks like Caesar. Okay. The Caesar cipher algorithm plus key. Okay, so let me just briefly explain how the Caesar cipher works. How it works is you have the letters of the alphabet A to Z. Then you are given a key. Your key is a number. Okay. And the number represents how many times a letter is moved. So for instance, let's say your number is number 2. Or the example you use here is 3. So let's say your number is number 3. The letter is A. A moves B, C, D. Okay, if your letter is E moves F, G, H. So E becomes H. So that is how it works. And if your letter is Z, you're going to start again. So Z becomes A, B, C. So Z becomes C. All right. So that's basically how the Caesar cipher works. So Caesar cipher is not used in real encryption cryptography because it's not entirely secure. So let's go to the activity, the lab. Help the security team recover encrypted messages using the Caesar cipher. Use the cipher tool below to encrypt and decrypt messages. Okay. Okay. Here is the ciphertext. This is what we're going to decrypt. The ciphertext is this. So shift 1. How does this work? Shift once, decrypt. No, that doesn't make sense. Shift twice. That doesn't make sense. Shift 3 times. Attack tomorrow. Okay. So this is the plain text. Attack tomorrow. That's the answer. Second task says the team needs to share a temporary password. Secret. So secret is the password. Encrypt it using a shift key of 5 before sending it over the network. Okay. Copy that. Paste it here. Encrypt. No. 5. Encrypt. This is the answer. This ciphertext. 3. The message was encrypted, but the team doesn't know the key used. Try different shift values in the cipher tool. Okay, so we copy this, paste it here. Trying to decrypt 1, 2, 8, 1, 5. Okay, so we kept shifting until it finally made sense, and the shift key is 11. The plain text is the system is at risk. The fourth task says an attacker has sent a coded message, the key is unknown, yada yada yada, decrypt this final warning. So we're going to start shifting again from 1. Okay, this is the final code and we have to shift 4 times. This is our flag. Using the Cysec cipher with a key of 5, what does cyber become when encoded? Instead of shifting repeatedly, I'm just going to use my own tool. I wrote a Cysec cipher encrypting code sort of. So I'm going to run that and show you how it works. I will also put the link to the repo, the GitHub repo in this video.
One eternity later.
So I have retrieved the code and I'm running it in Jupyter already. So I'm going to use my code to answer this question. It says, isn't the Cysec cipher with a key of 5? What does cyber become when encoded? So we're going to go back here, put the word cyber in it, and run it. So we see the different answers: shift 1, shift 2, shift 3, shift 4. What is the question? Key of 5. So we're going to the answer is shift 5. Great. Now the next question says, using the Cysec cipher, find the correct key and decode the following message, whatever this is. Here we don't even have the correct key, so we're just going to go here, and thankfully what the code does is it gives all the possible answers for all 26 shifts. So we're going to go through it till it makes sense. These are all the 26 possible answers. Simple Cysec cipher. So we had to shift 13 times. So like I said, I'm going to link the repo for this code in the description. So check the description of this video to see it. Now task 3 says sharing keys safely, asymmetric encryption. Oh, they define symmetric encryption. So symmetric encryption is when you have the same exact key encrypting and decrypting. And asymmetric encryption is where you have 2 keys instead of 1. So there's a public key and a private key. The public key anyone can know and use. The private key that belongs to just you. The mailbox analogy. Let's use a physical mailbox on a street corner as an example. The mail slot at the top is the public key. Anyone walking by can drop off a letter. It's completely open and accessible. The locked door at the front is the private key. Only the mailbox owner has the key to open it and grab the letters. So that's basically how asymmetric encryption works. Asymmetric encryption solves the problem of key distribution. Symmetric encryption handles the heavy lifting because it's way faster. Again, I said I was not going to go through the lesson line by line, so please, you have to, especially if you are coming across cryptography for the first or second time. Let's go straight to the questions. In asymmetric encryption, which key stays secret? The private key. With asymmetric encryption, Alice can encrypt a message using Bob's public key. Hold on 1 second. This is distracting. Okay. With asymmetric encryption, Alice can encrypt a message using Bob's public key, and only Bob's private key can decrypt it. Yay or nay? Yay, that's what it is. What problem does asymmetric solve that symmetric cannot? Key distribution. After initial symmetric exchange in HTTPS, what encryption type handles bulk data? Symmetric encryption. So again, please go through the lesson to fully understand it. And in conclusion, in this room, we've explored the basics of cryptography. Plain text is what you can read. Ciphertext is scrambled gibberish. A key is the secret that controls scrambling and unscrambling. An algorithm is the public method for using the key. Now, we looked at symmetric encryption, which uses a single key for both encryption and decryption, and a symmetric key, which uses two different but linked keys. Asymmetric encryption sets up a shared key at the start. Symmetric encryption handles the actual data because it is faster. And finally, cryptography is one of the most critical tools in a defender's arsenal. It protects confidentiality and integrity, and it's the backbone of almost every secure system you use online. But it's not magic, it's one layer in a much bigger security picture that includes strong password policies, secure key storage, user awareness and training, regular software updates, and monitoring and incident response. Okay, that is the end of the room. I hope this was useful, and I would see you in the next one.